All right, so this story comes to us from a listener actually, and it's one I should have actually gotten in the Tales from the Ouija Part 2 episode. Unfortunately, I did not do that.
But you know what that means, right? Gets his own little video.
His own little video, whatever you said after that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Tristan, if you're out there,
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a very good story, and I remember being blown away by this, and I'm actually very glad that he sent it in. And Tristan, if you have any other stories out there, you send those in as well.
Scott likes demons and
We're
giants.
Ready. Bring it on. That's right. Okay, so we start with what's up again, guys? Oh, maybe I shouldn't read that first part because it's just about how awesome I am. So maybe we should get into.
I have to say that Scott taking the time to respond to me was. Oh yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I'm a big deal. I'm pretty great.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just gonna go right into the next bit. Okay, Scott, you talk this. I'm mentioning this a little bit too as well. It's fine. Not a celebrity or anything.
Not yet.
Just a cool guy that reads stories sometimes.
You're a guy that reads stories. Yes.
Okay. You adjusted that pretty quickly. Thanks for that.
Yep.
Didn't even think about it. Okay, Scott, you talked me into it. But I just want to say for the record that everything that I write here is true to the best of my humanly flawed recollection. Probably put that little bit in there for you, Christian.
Probably.
I would also like to point out that I am no writer and can offer no guarantees against the stumbling blocks that lay ahead. Hey, if you've heard the podcast, you know that's kind of our MO at this point, you know.
I was just going to say I'm already impressed with the verbiage.
Yeah. Yeah, we usually just stumble right through.
Yep.
The year was around 1992.
So about the year you were still picking your nose and eating it.
That could have been 2021. No, I'm just kidding.
That was all of us back then.
Yeah. The year was around 1992. I was in junior high school, and as such, I was trying to test the boundaries of my very traditional upbringing. My friends and I would hang out as much as possible. We tried to make wine and even grow some weed, with not much success. Sorry to hear that,
That's
Tristan.
impressive trying, though.
Yeah, you gave it the old college try.
Down with Jesus. Let's drugs and alcohol. Let's make them ourselves.
That's right. There you go. Get it out of your system, Tristan. Trying to entertain yourself in a small Idaho town lends its own challenges, but in the pre-internet era, we were left to our own devices, and the many ideas of the cookbook might be a good place for a beep, Scott. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've been canceled many a time by YouTube, so way to go, editor Scott, and way to go, Tristan, for the heads up. At any rate, I am sure you get the drift of what my friends and I were up to. Do you get this? Yeah, you get the drift. Thanks again for the extra.
You're welcome.
bleep.
This can take a lot of work.
Yeah. I can't say who came up with the idea or where it came from, but making a Ouija board was a frequent topic of conversation. We weren't sure how to do this. Again, there was virtually no internet access, and even if you could get on, to us it was useless. It really ended up coming down to the research of just two of us. My friend, let's call him Tony, and I decided to give it a try. These are a few guidelines that I remember. Again, possibly a nice spot for some editing, but Christian might like the technical aspect of this. We needed to find an old piece of wood, paper, or parchment. Preferably something with a past to it, not something new.
Diapers.
There you go. Artwork is important. The more colors that are included, the stronger the connection with the entities. The planchette should be made of the same material as the board, with a method to stand it up above the surface, preferably with iron nails to keep the contact with the entities. And last but not least, a minimum of 2 willing participants, of which the creators of the board would be the most powerful.
It's impressive technical aspects, I will say.
Yeah. Yeah, he's giving it the old what for.
Yeah, I would have never thought about using all that stuff to make a Ouija board.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought of that. That's right.
Yep.
We started with a section of an old barn door. This was a great piece of foundation for our gateway. We then went down to the local grocery store and bought the biggest pack of crayons that we could find. You know, one of those 100-plus color packages that no one ever used, but somehow every one of them ended up broken. You've been there, Tristan. The planchette was the hardest part. We decided it should be from the clasp of the barn door, since that is the key to the gateway. Clasp may be a bit fancy for what it actually was, which in effect consisted of a small board with one nail in the center attached to the wall that could swing down and hold the door closed. Looking around in the same barn, we found a few rusty nails that came from who knows where to round out our materials list. I am the most artistic of my friends, so it was up to me to do the artwork. I used every color in the pack to create a very well-defined alphabet complete with a detailed, concentric, free-flowing pattern that covered every inch of the board. Yo, real recognize real, Tristan. That sounds pretty dope.
Yep.
Pretty dope. This is where Christian chimes in to say that the wax from the crayons would help the planchette glide, and he is absolutely right. Christian, you really miffed it. You should have chimed in.
I should have.
You should have just...
I was thinking that too.
You should have. I mean, you have the actual email in front of you. You could have jumped in and be like, this is where I'll chime in.
I thought that, but I also remember crayons are magical. So...
Yeah, this sounds like it's going somewhere. Christian chimes in with all that fun stuff. The first time we tried it, nothing really happened.
It's got to be seasoned.
That's right. Yeah, I get Salt Bay out on the grounds to all up on that thing.
Yeah.
We got a jumble of letters that when ordered meant nothing. Really just a bunch of nonsense. Dejected, we put it away and didn't mess with it again for at least a few weeks. I was really bummed after all the time and energy we put into the project consequently. I was disappointed to find that it didn't work. Or did it? Or did it?
It did. It sounds like it did. I'm just foreshadowing.
There you go. I started to recognize some of the letter combinations that we had found in my day-to-day life. I wrote this off as odd, but probably just a coincidence. Then Tony and I started to think about the board more and more. We would just start to discuss thoughts or ideas concerning the board out of the blue until one night we decided to give it one more try. We sat down with intention, lit a few candles, and tried to clear our teenage minds. Do you think them thinking about it was the board like calling out to them like you see in like the old school movies and stuff?
It's like
come play with us.
They started thinking about the board, but it was because the board was thinking about them.
Aw, it's like a rom-com.
Until it's not. Until it's a stocky, divorced story of hate and vengeance.
Yeah. From rom-com to misery.
Yeah, it's always what happens when you bring out the Ouija board.
That's right. So they tried to clear their teenage minds. When we tried to use the board, we would get a series of 3 letters over and over, no matter where we put the board. Get the beep ready. It would spell out over and over, cack.
Cack? Like Manistan or something like that?
Okay.
I don't get it.
Sounds like a very dirty Boston man.
Oh, so like
Yeah.
if the Boston man bought a kayak, he'd be like, I'm going out on the...
Yeah. Can I go take the around the pond? Yeah, all right. Oops, almost forgot the khakis. Yeah. The khakis. That's the one.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah. It would spell out over and over and nothing else. So we gave it a break. I think we went outside and did something for a bit, but went back in to try again. The first thing we got was Then we asked if this was its name. We finally got a different answer, and it was, wait for it, yes. Oh, damn it. Maybe we shouldn't have been joking about it. We've been joking about nonstop, and we are in my home. This is where we do like a really close-up of my face, surprised and worried. And then it cuts back like nothing's wrong. Then that was it. The planchette wouldn't move after that. No matter how long we tried to do it, we were stuck. At this point, things got pretty chaotic, and my memory likes to skip over stuff that happened only to remember later. But I guess that's what those badass shower combos are for, right, Scott? And you know what? You're absolutely right.
That's a little freaky deaky.
Intro music. Go. No, we pulled it around. We did it. No, it's fine. It's fine. We don't usually do that on the videos anyway. But I can say that shit got weird. Hey, and that's what we do, man. That's our motto. Keep life weird. We all about that.
Yeah, just keep out of it.
Yeah, keep your out of it. Anytime we use the board, it would only say the 3 letters and only answer yes if we asked if it's a name.
It was a 12-year-old boy.
Okay.
Is that your name? Yeah.
What's your name? Young Matt Damon in
Goodwill Hunting.
The problem was that Tony started to not sleep so well in his room, which was incidentally the location of the Ouija board sessions. He would wake up at all times of night with a general unease. Nothing that he could put his finger on until he saw the entity. It was standing in the corner of the room in the same general area of the board. I feel very worried now. It's fine. Well, it's going to be all right.
Perfectly fine.
No worries. I'll text you tomorrow if anything weird goes on.
Yeah.
Simply standing there looking at him. At this point, completely freaked out, he cowered under the covers until the sun came up and called me immediately. He simply said, "I saw it." Odd thing was, I knew exactly who the it was that he referred to. Okay. We're not making fun of not anymore.
That was not making fun.
That's in the past.
Okay.
Q the very same afternoon, we met back in his room to try to contact that thing and find out what the hell was going on. As always, only the 3 letters and a yes, if we asked if it was him. Then we asked him if he was able to show himself. This next part, first of all, Tristan, no, don't. Not a smart move.
Reminds me of a mastodon.
Oh, God, please. How many of our videos are you trying to get canceled?
Mastodon song, show yourself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I hope we get some kind of monetary compensation from the industry for the term mastodon. That's a great.
I don't get it.
That's great. No, it's cool. It's all right. Then we asked him, he was able to show. The next part is one of those messed up parts I previously referred to. I know it still had to be light outside because we had just left school, but in my memory, it is completely dark with only a few candles burning. We both sensed a presence at the same time and looked up. Standing directly in front of us was an entity that I have tried to describe to myself my entire life. I would say he was a he. Yes, I'm one of those people who places labels. Oops, oh, Tristan putting his foot down. And basically humanoid. He was very large in stature, very muscular, dressed as a warrior out of a fantasy novel. His face was indescribable, mostly because I couldn't see it. That would make it indescribable.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right. It checks out. I know what you're saying. He is right in front of you. How can you not see it?
It was when something has massive pecs like that, you may not see the face.
Are you suggesting that it's like towering over and the thing's pecs are so large that he's looking up and he's like, I can't quite grasp the face because these pecs are so ginormous.
They were probably shiny because they were so built.
Oh, God, what are you thinking about over here, dude? Muscular.
Could happen.
I'm
trying to help out.
There you go. Everyone just got a very different image in their head. Congrats. But that isn't entirely accurate. How can you not see it? But that isn't entirely accurate. I could see it in the classical sense, but I think that my mind had no reference point to understand what I was seeing. That's terrifying.
That makes sense, though.
That is terrifying, though. Holy shit.
I'm not always sure you can see something that your mind can't comprehend.
There is that theory with the Native Americans back in the day, right? Is that canceled now? I can't remember. I can't remember if that's like a bad story, but I
can use a more modern theory or story to show you how you can't see certain things. When you're driving, sometimes you won't see a motorcycle because your mind is looking for cars. So you won't see a motorcycle until you hit them.
That's why all these people with the stickers, watch out for motorcycles.
Exactly, because you're not looking for them, so your brain doesn't pick up on them. So maybe if you're not expecting to see some demonic entity show up in your room, it may be hard to look at the face. Ask a robbery victim.
Dude, what if that explains why people like yourself can't see ghosts? What if they're standing right there, but because you're not tuned into you know what I mean?
Haven't we kind of brought that up? Like I may not be able to.
In a sense, but we haven't connected these dots before. And these dots are what actually pulls it home from me.
Yeah, Tristan
a little bit more.
Has
Tristan,
solved the puzzle.
Way to go, Tristan. Yeah.
I think I'm perfectly fine if that's the case. That makes a lot of scientific sense to me in a way of certain people can't see certain things.
Because that was to pull it back to what I was saying, like with they were claiming the Native Americans couldn't understand boats, right? Like, or couldn't understand these massive boats. And so they didn't technically see them come to shore.
Which is dumb.
Yeah, it might be dumb. I don't know. But it's the same concept, right?
Yeah. Except that Native Americans had boats. So they would have seen a big boat and be like, whoo, they have a big boat.
Like, oh, that's like 30. That's like the Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
Let's go see how we can make a big boat.
Yeah. I feel like this one got out of hand.
Yeah.
It got away from us. So yeah, he had no reference point to understand what he was seeing.
That makes sense.
It makes sense, but it's also terrifying. It's like low-key, super freaky. Therefore, all I remember was a shifting, blurry shape, I want to say he had a helmet with horns on, but that is probably my mind assigning something that I would expect to see. Christian, can I get a hell yeah?
That's amazing, though.
Yeah.
Having a helmet with horns is cool no matter who you are.
Yeah. You'd be okay with that. But like, what? You're going to and pillage my village? It's fine. Do you have a helmet with horns, perchance?
Oh, yeah, only if it rhymes.
And pillage my village? Yeah. Oh, move over Eminem.
Yeah.
There's a new Slim Shady. Well, can't really claim that name at the moment, but there's a Shady in town.
Yeah.
there's a Shady in the building, I believe. Yeah. So anyway, Christian gave you a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
At this point, we both about shit ourselves and ran from the room. Later, when we spoke about what we saw, it was eerily similar. Tony had a bit of a different perspective because of his position in the room, but essentially we saw the same thing. It was at this point we decided that this might not have been the best idea, and we started to research ways to dispose of a Ouija board. This seems to be much harder than we previously thought. Tony was terrified of his room and could no longer go in there, so it was up to me to get the board. Once I had it out, we took it back to the barn until we could figure out what to do with it. Cue the scary music and a shocked sound as the weirdness continues. The next experience was on a Monday afternoon, which was a day or so after we moved the board, and by that Wednesday, the board was back in Tony's room when he woke up. He called me and I came over before school, removed the board, and hid it in a place where only I would know, off of his property. By Friday, it was back in his room.
Zozo.
Oh, stop with that nonsense. Needless to say, shit was getting real, and the need to do something was weighing heavily on our minds. I was able to find a book in the library, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was called. That said, the only way to sever a link like we had established would be to dispose of the board over moving water.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've never heard that, but what if you can't remember the book because it's that powerful?
Yeah, it's not a...
It's only there when you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over moving water. Anticlimactic, I know, but we had to try. That Saturday, it was go time. We loaded the board up and went to a seldom used train bridge over the Snake River on which we carried the Ouija board.
Oh, they're in Idaho, right?
I think so.
They said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tony and I walked it out to the middle, set the intention of release in our minds, and dropped it in the river. What followed was a return to normal. Tony no longer woke to the entity standing in his room, and neither of us ever saw the board again. Happily ever after, right? Well, sort of. I have continued to have experiences throughout my life, as I can't say that I never saw again. There was this one time when I was hiking and saw a UFO that he made an appearance, but that is a story for another day. That's weird. That's a weird correlation.
We definitely want that story for another day.
It's another day, Tristan. It's time. We're ready.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for listening and reading. I understand if this doesn't make it on the pod, but if you do want to share, then by all means feel free. It really did feel good to lay it all out there. Anyway, I love what you guys do, mostly because you make me think about things that I don't usually consider. I definitely think Christian is a lying and Tristan, weird, dude. Weird. No, it says, I definitely think Christian is crazy and is skeptic. Oh, God. Did you fall for it, Christian, or you've read this before?
No, I haven't read it. I didn't read that part before. But
so did you think for a second, like, oh, wow, he really thinks someone?
Yeah. No, I used to you saying stuff like that. I figured Tristan might pick on me for being a skeptic.
Yeah, I definitely think Christian is crazy, and a skeptic point of view only serves him well as a blanket statement, which is something that I've also shared with you countless times. If I hear that as a cool story one more time, I think that's something you say. Haha, it's all good.
That's a really good way of catching it, though.
It's fine. It is a cool story. Thanks for the back and forth, and I didn't forget about you, Heather. I can't wait for your assessment as well. Cue the camera angle slowly sliding to the right to show nothing.
Here's the thing. We're just going to let you know now. Heather was never really here. She was who came after we had a session with the Ouija board.
Yeah.
And then she's just in the spirit realm, but we were able to catch her on camera sometimes. Sometimes we put the cameras on or the mic and it just doesn't catch her because she's in the realm. She was never real, but in our hearts she is.
But in our minds, she's not.
Yeah. It's like how Tristan feels about me.
Yeah.
Not impressed with me, is he?
Yeah. Anyway, No, that was a great story. That was a fantastic story. Not a cool story, Tristan, but holy crap, was it a great, fantastic one. And I want you to know number one, appreciate you sending it in. But number two, what I appreciate is that I will probably get to edit this when I'm alone, and it's going to terrify the hell out of me the entire time that I'm editing this video. Can't wait. And it's a longer one. It's longer, so I get to sit there even more alone, mood lighting in the living room at 4 a.m. when China's asleep, putting this story together. And your boy is already, not too pleasant with the demons. So,
You just gotta when you go to edit it, pretend you're a skeptic like me, and you won't see
good thing this doesn't exist.
Yeah, it makes me feel better.
Yeah, I bet it does.
I sleep well at night. I don't worry about things like some people do.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah,
that's a plus. See, these are the types of stories that I love getting in.
Me too.
Tristan, MVP status for this one. This wasn't like when I was 8, I saw my dog get carried down the hall. It's not that. And we haven't received that story. That would be a cool story too, though. If you see a ghost carry your dog down the hall, let us know. If it was
a cat, it'd be okay.
No, carry. I'm not saying like anything malicious. Just kind of lift up and like.
Wouldn't you be worried your animal was a traitor to be that close to a demon?
Bruh? Yeah, it's cool. But no, so yeah, we actually love getting these stories in. And technically, no, it didn't make it on the pod. Maybe we'll share it on the pod next time we do a listener story episode.
Yeah, we definitely should, because that's a fun story.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Wait, did I just say it?
What?
No, I said fun story. But I guess when it comes out of my mouth when I say story, a believer is automatically saying that I'm being a skeptic, and I'm putting it down by calling it a story. But it was fun. We like to hear that stuff. Yeah. And I could be completely wrong.
True. And honestly, if you were, par for the course.
Yeah. I won't notice.
It's a win-win. What a treat.
Yep.
But no, Tristan, thank you very much for sending that in. And actually, send us an email. We'll send you a sticker pack.
We will.
Love that story. And if you got stories that I think are sticker pack worthy, you bet your ass I'll send you sticker packs as well. So let's get those in the mail. Let's bring them home. That wraps us up. You got any closing words for Tristan?
We want to hear the other story or the other happening.
Yeah.
And we should have a skeptic approved sticker, so that when we have a story like this that the skeptic enjoys, they get a special sticker.
It's just you going like,
yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. We'll work on that. We'll workshop that as well.
No, it'd have to be a crypto of some kind.
There you go.
Or a cryptid. Not a crypto. Cryptid.
Could be both.
Yeah. Of some time.
Squatch coin. I was in June. No, yeah. If I can overlay those two, it might sound like a song. I was in junior high school, and as such, I was trying to. Maybe it's because this is like the multiple stories at this point that this is happening. So maybe it's just the stories and the writing is not the problem. Maybe it's me. Maybe I expect sentences to end way before they actually do.